From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Friday, November 24th, 2017. Silver is trading at $17.14 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,293 per ounce. Bitcoin is trading at 2.8 cents, and the average price of Bitcoin is $8,072. Antiwar.com reports, despite promising earlier this week that they would lift the blockade on northern Yemen at noon on Thursday, the time came and went, and UN and other humanitarian aid ships continued to be prevented from accessing the port of Hodeidah. Northern Yemen is facing calamitous shortages related to the Saudi blockade, with many dying in recent weeks from the lack of medicine, thousands dying from a cholera epidemic that is among the worst in human history, and warnings that millions will soon be going from malnutrition to outright famine. Despite having made a very public point of their plan to ease the blockade, at least as it relates to certain humanitarian ships, the Saudis have made no comment since then, and it's puzzling why they announced it at all if they did not intend to allow the ships in. Though the Saudis had in recent weeks blockaded all ports across Yemen, they've already allowed the reopening of certain loyal ports in the south. Hodeidah is the lone rebel port, however, and the only way to get humanitarian aid into the entire northern half of the country, since Saudi warplanes damaged the Sana'a airport a few days ago. Aid groups and the UN are deeply critical of the ongoing blockade, warning that millions of lives are potentially at stake. So far, there is no sign that's going to make any difference to the blockading states.
For over 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals. Gold, silver, platinum, and palladium. They don't feed the banks. They're Bitcoin preferred and have removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts Brokerage today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co.
UPI reports California Governor Jerry Brown has pardoned a man in prison for 39 years for 2 murders he did not commit. Brown signed the pardon Wednesday, the same day 70-year-old Craig Coley walked out of the state prison in Lancaster. Brown said in a statement announcing the pardon that Coley pursued religion and stayed away from gangs and violence. Brown said in the statement, "The grace with which Mr. Coley has endured his lengthy and unjust incarceration is extraordinary." Coley maintained that he did not kill Rhonda Wicht, whom he had previously had a relationship with, and her 4-year-old son at her apartment in Simi Valley, California in 1978. She was found beaten and strangled, apparently, and her son Daniel was smothered. Coley was son of a retired Los Angeles policeman who had dated her for nearly 2 years and worked as a night manager at a restaurant. Coley's first trial ended with a hung jury in 1979. He was found guilty in a retrial the next year and was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. On appeal, his conviction was affirmed. On Monday, Ventura County District Attorney Gregory Toten and the Simi Valley Police Chief David Livingstone announced that they were supporting a clemency appeal by Coley. They said new DNA tests conducted during a year-long investigation supported a finding of factual innocence. Toten and Livingstone wrote, "This case is tragic. An innocent woman and small child were murdered. Craig Coley spent 39 years in custody for a crime he did not commit." Brown asked the Board of Parole Hearings to conduct an investigation in 2015 after Coley sought clemency. In the investigation, police officials said they doubted Coley's guilt and they believed he was framed or that evidence was mishandled. Livingstone then opened an investigation in October 2016. DNA samples that supposedly were lost or discarded were found in a private laboratory. In new testing, DNA on a key piece of evidence matched the DNA of other individuals. Toten said at a news conference, "As district attorney, I must tell you I look forward to the day when I can shake Mr. Coley's hand, apologize to him for the injustice he suffered. I am also hopeful that one day soon we will bring to justice the violent man responsible for this most horrific crime." The case has been reopened. Coley may apply to receive compensation of $140 for every day he spent behind bars, which works out to approximately $1.9 million.
When you hear the word lobbyist, you probably think about greedy corporations, but not all lobbyists are the same. Some are fighting for the freedoms you hold dear. Liberty Lobby LLC is doing just that in New Hampshire, working hard to represent you, not some special interest group. You can help by going to libertylobby.info, where your contribution will give us the tools we need to ensure that your voice is heard. Visit libertylobby.info today to find out more.
This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.